Hey guys, I am John Carrick, and today we are looking at Rocket Girl #2 from Image Comics, Brandon Montclair and Amy Reeder. And this art is next level, incredible, amazing. Unfortunately, the story doesn't hold together. I really love the blue highlights and the pink highlights, how they compete with each other, blue and orange, really. Those are what are they called? Not compatible. There's a name for colors. Complementary colors. Blue and orange like that are really good together. This comic is drawn really, really well. I don't know where the disconnect happened. I can't not talk about it. Because even if I show you what's happening, I need to explain it a little bit. And it looks great. This is Dae-Young Johansson, who's back in 1986 through a time-traveling accident or deliberate act. It's unclear. The second issue makes it a little bit more unclear. She is, in her own way, an authority. She is a trained time-traveling police officer. Granted, she's a teenager, but there's still a certain amount of authority that comes with the title and the technology that she has in her possession. Here's the other problem. She's crash landed into a want-to-be quantum mechanics school student. This woman is getting her doctorate in quantum mechanics. So she really doesn't know anything. She has 1986 technology, and she thought she was building some kind of time machine, some Q machine. And that is, so we've got kind of a Skynet artificial intelligence loop sort of problem. Here's the issue with this scene. Dae-Young is very capable. She's a lunatic. This woman is asserting herself. This Thelma from Scooby-Doo was never an attractive character. I don't know what Amy Reeder looks like. Everything about this comic is pure potential, and these 2 pages really kind of wreck it. This is everything the culture war was fought over. Inserting loud, obnoxious women, unqualified women. Apparently these 2 are scientists. They don't behave like scientists. They behave like cokeheads. They behave like human resources people. These are busybodies. And she is just a bully. And these characters don't mix well. And Dae-Young really doesn't have any reason to listen to them. And that kills the story. So mostly what I'm going to do from here forward is flip through the art. I will talk a little bit about it. I do think you guys should pick up this series. It's really cheap because it's never going to be a cartoon because of these 2 pages right here. It's really a shame. It's really a shame because there's a ton of potential, but the character relationships don't work. This needed to be rethought. This needed to be, I don't know who fell in love with this story concept of a smart, scientific, a real smart girl being thrown back with a couple dumb girls in the 80s who think they're smart. These people don't behave like smart people. They do not have the answers. They're just brash. And there was a time in the 80s where being brash and being female did get you a lot of attention. And it's like that now too. God, victim culture is it, right? Shit, in the 80s, it didn't get you anything. In the 80s, being loud just got you homeless. It's now that this gets you attention. Did you guys realize this person looks like an elementary school teacher or a junior high school teacher? Have you guys heard the latest stats on reading literacy in the United States? Blacks and Asians are not the same. So Dae-Young's they couldn't get the TV to work. They don't have cable. They only have channel 7. This is all being broadcast out of Dae-young's phone. I still think they should have put this in 2313, not 2013, but it is what it is. I love the art. I love everything about the art. I don't mind that this is a canted panel, but it might help for you guys if I were to turn it a little bit so you could see it. It really is a good comic. But she's obnoxious and she should be cut from the cast and she should not be getting all these panels. She ruins the whole story. She makes Dae-young she is the main character in this story. She is the boss. Your main character has to make all the decisions. And those decisions cannot be to let someone else force her to take a shower with 2 other women. It's funny it's not a good, this doesn't work. This fails. And I hate saying it, but it does. It needed, for her to be in this comedy situation, this isn't an episode of Big Bang Theory. She's a police officer. She can kill people. In comic books, in a kid's world, a police officer is the highest authority. We know they're not always right. We know they make mistakes, even if they're teenagers. The problem is when you give a teenager a gun and you tell him to defend his home and nation, he's going to kill people. This is serious business, even if they don't think so. And they haven't. Her character, Dae-young's character, is right. And I don't mean has authority. I mean, she's written correctly. She behaves correctly for all these scenarios, but the scenario is wrong. And I can't say she behaves correctly because for her to behave more correctly ends the story. And that's the problem, is they've trapped her with these 2 other girls, Annie and Ryder, who don't bring anything to the story. And that's why we're jumping back to the past, and we can't figure it all out jumping back to the chronological past, which is the future. This is when Dae-young discovered, this is how she got herself into trouble. They are eavesdropping they are hacking a quantum mechanics board meeting. And I believe that's another police officer. They're not supposed to get caught. See, and that's jet engines, but that's is that a landing pad? Oh, that's a landing pad. I was thinking that was a levitation plate on that car, but it's not. Jet engines don't work because of the fuel requirements. Magnetic levitation that you can charge works a lot better. Especially if you can do organic, would you call it organic charging? Just labor charge it, like physical labor. You can charge it with physical labor. Wind up a crank. So this is the meeting where they are talking about sending their machine back to the past so that this is kind of a weird, this is like in order to become Skynet has to send the Terminator back so that the Terminator can cause the Skynet Corporation to, or what's it called? Cyberdyne Systems. They have to send the quantum engine back so that Cyberdyne Systems can be born and create Skynet. Look at this word balloon. It's not my eye. These word balloons are off. These word balloons are drawn by hand. I think that's the first time I've seen word balloons They didn't even use one of those oval. I think they used the oval bits for the old Marvel ones because they never look retarded like this. Dae-young's battery dies while she's hacking them, and they freak out and they realize they've been detected, and so they take off. I really like how they fly. I like the trails. You wouldn't get that so much with without jetpacks, but I really like that. I also really like that the rockets are affixed to their backs, but my character rides a hoverboard, so that's just as cool. I wish I could draw her as fast as Amy Reeder can draw. But you know what? 10 issues for my book wouldn't compare to the 2 novels I've got. I have 26 hours of story. And I've got probably another 13 hours that's unfinished right now with the 3rd novel. So this is Dae-young and her partner arguing about what actions they should take against quantum mechanics, who is kind of like Elon Musk's Starlink of the current era, if there is anything comparable. I still think this should be 300 years into the future. I love the faces that Amy draws. I love Amy's artwork. Oh, and there's a surprise for you guys at the end of this, too. Here we are back in the past. This is Detective, I believe his name is Ciccione, or Ciccione, or Ciccione. I don't know how you'd say it in Italian. I'd have to hear that name said. But he's a sweaty detective, probably because he drinks and eats a lot. And Dae-young is in the middle of stopping a convenience store robbery. This is where the comic book shines. Get rid of these two. They're unnecessary. Just let Dae-young fly around New York and solve the problems on her own. Or if you're going to have they're good characters. They're necessary characters. They're just not. You know what? Maybe I need to see the next couple issues. Maybe it just wasn't defined enough in this issue. I think they're not how do I phrase this? The complications ahead of them are not clearly defined enough. They're not looking for a special piece of equipment. It's not clear what they're looking for. They're looking for someone else to help them, or they're looking for some other facility where they can go and rebuild whatever engine they're trying to rebuild. It's not clear to the audience what they need to do to fix the time problem. And that's mostly because she's a PhD student and she's not, they were doing this in her apartment. This should have been at a university. University? This should have been at a university where when Dae-young showed up, it was immediately obvious that the setting, if they had changed the location where she showed up, it would have changed everything. If they had made it in some sort of university lab instead of a fat girl's apartment, it would have changed everything. I don't know how you could set a university lab up on the 11th floor in a brownstone, but I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's a way. You might have had to do Boston, MIT, instead of New York City. Or you could have had some sort of university study group in renting some building. There's a way to have done this where she could have shown up with a whole group of students and not just these two lunatics who are completely unhinged humans, let alone time traveling students. They're idiots. Everyone else is great. I hate these two. I don't hate her so much because she doesn't really do anything. I hate her a lot. I love Dae-Young Johansson. I love her outfit. I love her it's not asymmetrical, but I love her oddly shaped helmet. Here they are foiling a robbery. And this is where she meets the detective who places her under arrest. The same thing happened with the commissioner, apparently, after they crashed, flying away from all of this. Something happened after this, and we don't know. And this is where it ends. Like I said, except for those two girls who ruined the first half of this book. Except for those two girls who ruined the first half of this book. And it doesn't look like it says CHP, California Highway Patrol, across the top of her helmet. I think it's probably Quantum Police or something like that, but check this out. Here we get a little more Rocket Girl. Special thanks, Billy Tucci. Nice. And we get to see a number one. Was it a number one? Oh, first we get this. This is great. What? Next issue. Here it is. Issue number 1, New York Comic Con variant cover, artwork by Shane Davis. Yeah. I think I might have to use this for the cover of today's episode. Go Shane. So look, the ancillary characters, your side characters matter a lot. They matter a lot. Hey guys, so Rocket Girl number 2. And you know what it really was? I had to go back and look too. It was this panel right here that killed it for me. This page where this obnoxious pink-haired woman just bullies the main character, and I just absolutely disconnected. I blame the writers. This is an experience, that was an experience I did not enjoy, and it disconnected me from the comic. I will continue reading them. I will find out what happens, but that was Legacy of a Mad Scientist, Legend of Ashley Fox. Put my money where my mouth is. So today's conflicted card is the 7 of Diamonds. It's very short. It says Gordon has a long mental checklist that he needs to go through in order to help other people. And I'm not quite sure I understand this. This says Gordon's mental checklist and criteria to help others is quite extensive. Does it kill one's soul not to help others? I think what they're trying to say is that you have to tick a lot of boxes in order for Gordon to be willing to help you. Like maybe you have to be the right kind of Christian, or you have to be the right skin color, or speak the right language. I can say that I'm a racist, but I'm not an evil person. The only checklist that is necessary for me to help someone is them to be alive and be in trouble and be in a situation that I can help, a situation that makes sense, you know? If there's an emergency, dial 911. If you have to get the right kind of help from the right kind of person. If you want to spend your life trying to help everyone all the time, you can exhaust yourself and live in the same misery they're living in without bettering yourself or them. There's a time when helping others, at some point, you can charity yourself into homelessness. America's doing it right now. It's a terrible thing to say. It's a terrible thing to think. But you absolutely can give your life to other people who will take. But how do you be a person who never helps? Like, that is terrible too. So you have to find a way to help others that doesn't destroy your soul. And not helping will destroy your soul. So, but helping too much will also, and also helping people doesn't really help them all the time. You can do things for people and they will let you do things for them. You can give someone everything you have and they will let you go homeless and go spend your money. So, is that help? Does that help them? Does that even make sense? I know I'm trying to sort this out in my own mind here on the screen, but asking for help is a problem too. I'm really, really bad at asking for help. It's been really expensive for me not to ask for help. So yeah, I'd like your help. I'd like your help if you're into comics and novels and fiction. I have a couple novels. This has helped me. Writing these books have helped me a lot. And doing this comic book helps me. And I hope it helps you too. Ashley Fox Ninja Babysitter. Ashley and Reverend Wolf try to help. They do help. They help rescue a bunch of kids from evil bad guys. How do you do this? There we go. Let's take a look at Shane's cover again. I'm going to see if I can find this. Get him to sign it. All right. See you guys tomorrow.